Good afternoon, Rabbi. We were asked several questions in Halacha. Let's try to go step by step and answer all of them. Number one, first of all, if a person drinks a certain drink, soft drinks, soda, juice, or water, or the similar, the question is, when does he make a bracha achona, a final blessing on these things? How much does he have to drink and how fast does he have to drink it? So the rule is, according to Rambam, in Hilchot Machalot Asurot, he writes over there, it comes out from his words, that a person has to drink a revi'it. How much is a revi'it? We're talking about 27 dirham, according to the old Arabic measure that still exists today. Actually, you can still find it today. It hasn't really changed, and it's still used in halachic literature, brought down in many poskim. So he has to drink 27 dirham, which translated into our measure is about 81 milliliters. So if he drinks that much, but the Rambam says also has to be drink. He has to drink it in one shot. One shot like this, drinks it all up, 81 milliliters, and then he makes a bracha achona, borei nefashot rabot v'chesronan. Otherwise, if he doesn't do that, if he drinks it slowly, sips it slowly, 1, 2, 3, so there, according to Rambam, he would not make a bracha achona, a final blessing on that, borei nefashot. So the question is now regarding hot drinks, like tea and coffee. What happens is that people usually drink them slowly. They can't drink them that fast. So the question is, what happens if a person did drink those hot drinks at that rate that we just mentioned? Do you make a bracha achona? So there are some opinions that say that if you drink it fast like that, even though it may be warm or a little bit hot, whatever, even if it's cold. So what they say is, in a case like that, some say you should make a bracha achona because you actually did drink it fast enough and at the proper rate, the proper measure, as we said. So therefore you should make a bracha achona. But the Chida and other poskim achronim, Sfardi, especially the Sfardi achronim, many of them, and also some Ashkenazim as well, they say no. You know why? Because a person is not the derech, it's not the way to drink like that so fast, drinks like this, doesn't cup them down so fast usually. So even if he does, he's like a minority, gets swallowed up in the minority, and therefore becomes negligible, it becomes nullified. So what happens is that they say that a person should make a bracha achona on drinks like this, even though he drank it at the rate that we just mentioned. So since we have a machloket, the question is, what do we do practically speaking? So the truth is that today, nowadays, it is actually the way to drink these drinks even cold. As you know, you have iced tea, we have iced coffee. So therefore the truth is that whatever they said, those poskim in those days, that it's not the derech, it's not the way of people to drink like that, tea and coffee, today it doesn't exist. So the truth is that if a person does drink tea and coffee, especially if they're not so hot, they're a little bit warm or cold even, whatever, or they have some ice in there, with their iced. So all these things, the person should make a bracha achona. Why? Because it is a derech, it is a way to drink in our times iced coffee and iced tea. So therefore there's no reason why you shouldn't make a blessing borei nefashot rabot v'chesronan if he drinks it at the rate that we just mentioned, which is what? 80 milliliters in one shot. That's the idea of it. So if he drinks it like that, he should make a blessing. If he doesn't want to do it, he wants to go like the poskim who say otherwise, that you shouldn't do it with hot drinks or things which are, it's the way to drink them hot. He definitely has what to rely on, but it seems like in our times, the more proper way is to make a bracha achona, a final blessing on these things, if he drinks it at the rate that we mentioned, the amount we mentioned. Also, another question we were asked is regarding what is the blessing on wheat. So the truth is that the Shulchan Aruch teaches us, and Siman Reish Chet, if the wheat is raw, right, for sure, the halacha is that we bless on that borei pri adama. Even if it's toasted in the oven, there are certain like wheat products like this, snacks, like shalva, this is something in Israel. So there are probably similar things also here, which are roasted like that. So if the wheat is whole and it's roasted in the oven, and it's like a snack food, so there also the bracha is borei pri adama. The same thing also applies that if a person eats wheat which was cooked in boiling water, but it's still whole, didn't get mashed up, didn't get smashed up, it wasn't made like into a daisa, into a porridge, it just stayed like basically whole, and some people have that as a side dish. So in cases like that, what bracha does he make? So according to the Bet Yosef and Siman Reish Chet, it says over there that a person on cooked wheat has to make the bracha borei pri adama. So the question is, when does wheat become borei min mezonot or even hamotzi lechem min aretz, right? What happens over there? What happens is that once it says the Bet Yosef over there in the name of the Rosh, the name of Rabbeinu Yonah, the name of Tosfot, the name of the Rambam, that how does wheat become? How does it go from the bracha borei pri adama to borei min hamazonot. So what has to be done is that first of all it's broken up into pieces, into halves or quarters or whatever, broken up, and then it's cooked and it gets stuck together, it becomes like a porridge, it becomes like a daisa. So in a case like that, it becomes borei min hamazonot. That's what makes it into borei min hamazonot, according to Bet Yosef. Not this is against what we find in the Mishnah Berurah in the name of the Magen Avraham and also the Pri Megadim. They bring also other shitot over there in the Mishnah Berurah, that if the husks are taken off the wheat, it's considered to be not full anymore. It's not considered to be complete. But the truth is, the husk is just it's a shell. You don't really eat that. It's not really something which is edible in the sense of nutrition. It doesn't really have nutrition. So therefore, the truth is, Rabbi, that the more correct shita, the more correct approach is like the Bet Yosef, and it's also the Rama doesn't argue with this. So we find that Rama also agrees with the Bet Yosef. So what a person should do is make borei pri adama on wheat, even if it's cooked, unless it got chopped up and cooked and then kind of like got stuck together. So there, in a case like that, it would become borei min hamazonot. So what does that mean? That a person, practically speaking, who's having like dishes, like say for instance like burgul, which is like broken up wheat, and then they cook it in the water, or you have a couscous also, right? Same idea, different texture, whatever. The couscous is also like that. It's broken up and then they cook it in water. So if it's like cooked in water and broken, as we said, these things are broken. And so what happens is that then if it got a little bit stuck together, became like a body of together, kind of stuck together. So like a porridge, whatever. So in a case like that, something similar to that, it becomes borei min hamazonot according to these poskim, according to Bet Yosef, and the Rambam, Rabbeinu Yonah, Tosfot, Rosh, and so therefore this is the halacha rabotai. Not like what we find, as we said in the other poskim, that even if the husk was removed, so then it becomes borei min hamazonot. The husk is not really such a crucial thing when it comes to the wheat because it's not nutritious at all. It's just a matter of some people like to eat it because of health. It has fiber, it makes it easier to digest maybe your food, whatever. Some people find it actually more difficult to digest that way. Whatever it is, there's all kinds of considerations, all kinds of fads going on in the world. But nevertheless, that's the way it is over time. So once a person has broken up the wheat, as we said, and cooked it, and it got stuck together, so then the blessing would be borei min hamazonot, and also bracha achrona, you have to make ala michya, because it's already mezonot. So that's the idea over time. Now, also a third quick question we were asked. We know that when a person eats a meal and he has bread, so we find in the Shulchan Aruch in Siman Kuf Pei Dalet, it says over there that a person, how does he have to make a birkat hamazon? How does he know that he can still make birkat hamazon? So how much time does a person have? That's the question. So he has 72 minutes to make birkat hamazon. If he ate a little bit, what does that mean? That usually at that time, already 72 minutes, we can assume that the food was already digested, that the bread that he ate was digested, the meal that he ate. So therefore, once the 72 minutes passes by, a person should not make any more birkat hamazon. It's too late already. But there is an exception. What's the exception? If he ate a bigger meal, so then the quantity was quite large, it was larger, so then what happens is that it takes more time to digest. So there he can measure it by his own senses. What does that mean? If he's now still not hungry, even though it already passed 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever passed by, he's still not hungry. Why? Because he had a big meal. So therefore, he still can say birkat hamazon, no problem. He should say birkat hamazon, no qualms, no questions, because the food has not been digested. How does he know? Because the sensors in his stomach are telling him that he's still full. So if he's still full, that means the food was not digested. So the question was asked something similar to this. What about if a person eats other foods? Like apples, pears, fruits, vegetables, all kinds of things like this, eggs, or all kinds of foods which are not bread. So the question is, how long does he have to make a final blessing on these things? Depending on what he ate, right? All these kinds of things. How long does he have to wait for that? So says the Magen Avraham over there in that same siman. Says the Magen Avraham that we go like the same way as we said regarding the meals. What does that mean? That if he ate a small amount, so then we tell him, we give you 72 minutes. Usually, right, that's usually the time that it takes to digest the food, other foods as well. But if you ate a larger amount, if you're still not hungry for that particular food that you ate, you're right, don't feel any hunger for that thing, or you don't feel any hunger at all, so there, we say you can still make the bracha. Why? Because you ate a lot. You probably had more, so therefore you're still not hungry for a while, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. If you had a lot of those things, you're still not hungry for that, so then you can still make the bracha. Same applies for the other foods as it applies for the meals and the bread, according to Magen Avraham. The truth is that we do find some poskim achronim who argue with this, and they say the truth is that when you eat something like that, an apple, or some foods like this, which are lighter in essence, so there they tell you you don't really have much time. You don't have really 72 minutes or even longer. What you really have is like an hour or less. Some even tell you, right? There are some who say, depending on what you ate, or is also regarding what you drank as well. What does that mean? If you drink, let's say, something like a soft drink, or some soda, or juice, or water, so there they give you even less time. They give you like half hour, and some say even a few minutes we give you. Why? Because those drinks get digested right away. They just pass through the stomach right away. So therefore they say that we don't give you 72 minutes. So the truth is, the only exception is regarding wine. When it comes to wine, it takes a while to digest it, right? There's nutrition there. There's also satiation there. Because it says in the Gemara that wine satiates a person. So therefore, when it comes to wine, we equate it to the other foods. But when it comes to the other drinks besides wine, so those things we say that they can get digested faster. So practically speaking, what should a person do? When it comes to things which are solid foods, like fruits, vegetables, and foods like this, other types of foods, there he can rely on the Maggid Avraham. What does that mean? That even we give him 72 minutes, just like we gave him for the bread, for the meals. And if he ate even more, had a bigger eating, so there we can give him even more time until he gets hungry for that food again. He can still make the bracha achrona. A person should always try to make it fast as possible. Shouldn't wait till the last minute, because then you may come to forget. There's all kinds of issues. A person has to be smart. He has to be wise regarding these things. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait till you do something, do some activities, go here, go there. Make the bracha right away. It's good advice for a person to get used to doing things with the proper diligence. When it comes to mitzvot especially. So this is what a person should do. But when it comes to drinks, so wine, as we said, is equated to those foods. You can do the same thing as he does with those foods we just mentioned. But when it comes to soft drinks, which are probably digested much faster than that, they can just go right through the system. So there, the truth is that a person should not wait so long. You shouldn't wait 72 minutes, because there are some poskim will give you only a few minutes or a half hour. So therefore, what a person really should do when it comes to other drinks like that, should make the bracha achrona right away. Don't wait, because the more you wait, the more doubts you're getting into, right? Some people will not let you make any more, whatever. So a person should try to do it as fast as possible. But the truth is that the best way to measure here also is probably with your senses. What does that mean? That if you're still not thirsty and you feel like still satiated, then what does that mean, satiated? That you don't feel thirsty for that drink anymore. You still feel like it's definitely giving you satisfaction. So that's a sign that you didn't digest that thing yet. So therefore, since a person is not yet thirsty, he drank some water or he drank some soft drinks, he still has time to bless until he feels that he needs to drink more. That's probably the idea. So a person can definitely rely on that. But the best thing to do, as we said, Rabbi, is to bless right away, because here we have doubts regarding some poskim who give you only a few minutes or a half hour. So a person should do it as fast as possible. But if he's still not thirsty, or if he's still not he feels that he's still full from that drink and doesn't feel any desire to have any more, so in a case like that, you can still make the bracha achrona. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen. God bless you, and have a great day.